What's good? This is Trey with Legit Game coming to you with this video on how to turn women on without saying a word. Alright, so in your tool kit of game, you want to have a weapon that most guys are not aware of, and it's the ability to turn a woman on without even saying a word. So basically, a woman sees you and she's turned on and before you even say hello, right? And this is possible, and this is actually the best, the type of game you should really go for, because it makes things a lot easier. If a woman is already interested before you even say a word, then it's almost like you can do no wrong. Of course, if you really say some stupid shit, then yeah, you can mess it up. But for the most part, if you just act normal, picking up a woman who's already interested is very easily. So how do you, as a man, turn on a woman without saying a word? Let's look at it from our perspective. So a woman can turn us on without saying a word by how she looks, right? Because she's hot, she has a nice body, or she's really beautiful, whatever it is. So with men, obviously we have the I guess the example for a woman would be, a man with a nice physique, a man with a good looking man, right? Male model, whatever, can turn a woman on without saying a word. But so what about the guy who's not a male model? What about the guy who's not super good looking or doesn't have a great physique? How can he turn a woman on without saying a word? So I'm going to give you some tips on how you can do that. So one of the ways to turn a woman on without saying a word is to approach the woman with, basically it's a vibe or energy that you're giving off, but she can feel it, and she can see it in your eyes, and can see it in your body language. It's basically you're approaching a woman with basically no desire of having sex with her, but the ability to have sex with her. So what does that mean? Basically, deep down inside that you have game. You understand women. You understand what she's looking for. You understand that you have value that you can bring to the table, but you're not thirsty for that woman. If you can approach a woman in that way, what she will feel is basically, this is a man in front of me. And most men, they're thirsty, right? So they give off this energy like, oh man, I can't wait to get her number, whatever. But instead of that, you're giving off this energy like you're approaching her, but it's like you don't really care about the approach. You don't really care about what happens. And this is a very bizarre dynamic, intriguing dynamic for a woman, because most men, they're very readable. Like, it's, oh yeah, this guy, here we go again. This guy's going to try to pick me up. But if you can approach with a type of energy where it's, yeah, I'm approaching you, and yeah, I have the ability to pick you up, but I'm not trying to. Like, I don't really care what happens. Okay, so it's a very weird, sort of a weird energy that you're giving off, but it's exciting for a woman because she can't really control the situation because you have no outcome dependence. Okay, so that's one of the ways to turn a woman on, but there's another part to it. And basically what you have to do is you have to fit an archetype. Okay, so basically we all know that women have, in this day and time, women have a lot of abundance. I mean, they have a lot of options because of social media and stuff like that. So women can be picky, right? Oh, he's not my type. The guy could be very good looking, and you'll still hear a woman say it's not my type, because she has that power. She can be picky because she has options. That's fine. So what you need to do is figure out, you know, what are the type of women that you are attracted to. Figure out what those women, who those women are, and then figure out the type of guys those women are attracted to, and create that archetype. So you want to fit that archetype. If you want a specific woman, you can't approach that woman looking like the complete opposite of her type. When you do it that way, then you have to have really strong game, right? But if you want to make the game easier, just fit her type. And she probably has more than one type, but you have to figure out, you know, you figure these things out by getting around these women. Befriend them, you know, before you even think about picking up the women that you're interested in. Learn how to be friends with them first. Okay, it might be necessary, or if there's a way for you to figure out what their type is without being friends, then that's fine. But you got to find out, you know, it's kind of like sales. You know, if you're going to sell something to someone, it's a lot easier to sell it to that person if you understand that person. You understand what they like, what they don't like. So then you don't have to like just shoot, you know, it's not like you're just shooting random targets. You know exactly where to shoot. You know exactly what to say. You know exactly what to do. You know exactly what archetype she's looking for. So you create that. So for me, for example, I know there's women out there that like tall black guys that are in shape, that are masculine, that are edgy, okay, fearless, you know, carefree. So I've created that archetype. At one time, my archetype was the businessman. You know, I would present myself as a businessman. I used to dress very sharp, that type of thing, and that was my archetype at one point. Then I switched over. Now it's more of an edgy, bad boy type of look, and there's women that go for that. So I'm going for the archetype that's going to attract the women that I want. So you have to create your archetype. You have to create a archetype that fits, that works for you. Let me go back. Yeah, you want to create an archetype that works for you, and you want to also create that character too. So you don't want to look like something but not have that character, right? So that's why I went back into the first thing that I touched on was your vibe, your energy. You want to have the confidence to go with your archetype. So if your archetype is the funny guy, you know, you want to be the funny guy but knows how to tone it down and be sexual when the time comes. You have to develop that character. You can't just look up the part but not actually be the part. You actually have to look the part and act the part. So you have to combine the two. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Okay, the first thing I touched on was basically you giving off the type of energy where it's like you are not trying to pick the woman up. When you're around women, don't try to pick them up. Like, wait for them to show interest first. Once she shows interest, then you pick her up. Before any picking up goes on, just demonstrate value. Demonstrate and communicate that you have value, but that you don't make any moves on her until she shows interest. That is the biggest mistake, is guys make moves before the woman shows interest. That makes no sense. How can you expect a woman to accept your advances if she's not interested? So you got to find out if she's interested first. So give off that energy of I don't give a shit, and then once she starts to show interest, then you start running your game. But you also want to fit an archetype. So you make the game easier. You turn women on before you even say a word, because you already fit her archetype. All right. That's the advice. Hope that was helpful. For more tips and advice on how to pick up women, go to legitgame.com. Thanks for watching. Peace.